This leader is provided to facilitate adjustment of focus. Please be aware there are spoilers contained in this video presentation.
And be a goop box hero, 1995 crime thriller. And a goop box hero, Kevin Spacey was the killer.
Seven was released in 1995. It was directed by David Fincher. It was nominated for Best Editing. That's it.
I think just the title screen.
You can't nominate a movie for
Right,
Best
yeah,
Editing
and-
just for the title screen. But
I want to say the title screen. There's something I read about the title screen being
okay,
like,
so IFC ranks, like, they've got a list of best opening titles, and it came in number 3 in all opening titles ever, behind Hitchcock's I want to say High Anxiety, but it's the real version of that.
High anxiety.
Vertigo.
Vertigo, yeah. Just to be forthright, I hated this movie, and I hated it because, as you guys know, I made a rule for myself in 2000 after watching The Cell that I didn't have to watch psycho killer movies anymore because I don't care. That's not my thing. And so the number of psycho killer movies that I've watched in the last 20 years has been just a handful. This movie was just repugnant.
Right.
In my notes, I have just the word yuck 3 times. Sorry, 3 times.
Drei Gläser.
Right, Glazer.
That being said, I thought there were some really good performances in it. I certainly wouldn't want to work with Legends of the Fall. Like, he did a great job of making it seem like he was the young, dumb.
Like he was a little heavy-handed.
Well, this story has been used again. Like there was one on Netflix that just came out that had Denzel Washington and Jared Leto. I mean, it's the same exact story.
It's funny because Denzel Washington was on tap for its role.
I think that would have been a better movie.
Here's a couple others, though. Al Pacino as Somerset,
Oh, okay.
and then Val Kilmer as John Doe.
Oh, gosh. That.
I could actually see that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it all could fit. Like, the thing about this movie is that the things that they were trying to do,
Kevin
they
Spacey,
got
that's
done.
the problem with that.
Oh my God, Kevin Spacey is so problematic. Him and Mel Gibson, and we're not quite there yet, but
That's coming. Well, you know, the other problematic thing is Morgan Freeman was going 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not how we count, Morgan. We count 1, 2, 3.
yeah,
Drei Gläser.
man, Morgan Freeman's voice.
Morgan, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hello, James. It's great to be here.
Right, is it frozen? Is there a problem with the microphone?
No, James. I'm Morgan Freeman. And when I communicate, I usually do so through deep, weighty, and profound voiceover.
You could just use it for anything, really. And this was when they had just kind of figured that out.
Like when he's sitting there talking to Goop at the restaurant, it's like, aw, I feel a lot better now.
Like after like the first like 2 like really great, or even the third like crazy like murder things, it's like I'm all going, I don't need to see another 7. And the last 2, I just was like, well, that just seems lazy now.
I did see this at the Buccos.
Yeah, so did I.
In Arvada. The dollar theater, when it was actually $1, was the most beautiful thing
that was
ever.
a hard dollar to give up once
Yeah.
I saw it. I pegged Gwyneth Paltrow getting killed like pretty early on. You just didn't kind of hear from her. Then you saw her like one more time, and then all of a sudden,
What's in the box?
she was dead. And I'm like, yeah, I saw that coming.
Okay, so Kevin Spacey didn't show up until the last half hour, and he wasn't in any of the press material. When they released the film, the villain wasn't listed because Kevin Spacey at this point was a big draw. When you looked at all the press material, you're moving along in the story, and then here's a huge star that just like abuses people. He just kind of comes out of nowhere, which was a pretty revolutionary idea kind of like Connery at the end of
Prince of Thieves.
That's the second Prince of Thieves reference that we made.
I don't believe that movie is on this list.
I would be really surprised if it was.
The chase scene with Verbal Kent went on for so long. It's like, they're going to go down a flight of stairs and you're going to run over here and then they're going to shoot a little bit and then
they're going to go
they're going to
upstairs.
run. It's like,
there was one part when he gets brained by Verbal Kent, there is a shallow depth of field where he's like, in the alley. That's pretty sweet. Like the way that it's set up.
I think that's one of the things about kind of, especially the torture porn version of horror, is that it gives, because I have never seen any of the Saws, because yuck. In looking at just the pieces that everybody's seen, the color palettes that they use, the shots that they use, I think people feel like on horror and torture porn especially, that they can get, crazy with how they shot it. And you can definitely see the steps that he's making towards Fight Club in this movie, which I really like Fight Club. Boy, I do not like this movie.
Hard pass.
Devil's Rejects was like that, where it's like, I don't want to follow these awful people going around killing people. It's like, why am I even watching that? I like
Natural Born Killers was the same.
Yeah, that one was one where it's like I theater hopped into it and I went, God, I didn't even pay for this, and these people in this theater did, and that makes it a little more disturbing.
Well, and there are people that love that movie too.
Oh yeah,
it's another one where it's like, man, I don't understand.
Cinefex has a review on the editing specifically, and it is really good. It's worth watching. I watched a review where this guy was like, I can confidently say this is the best movie ever made.
I mean, it's a dog whistle. Like, I mean, you either hear it or you don't.
No ukulele, which thank goodness.
But
I
we're
can't
okay with that.
I can't imagine how they would have used a ukulele in this movie. And if I never watch that one again, it will be too soon. Hey, Trent. What's in the box? I'll tell you what, not in the box is any ukuleles at all. I give this a negative ukulele.
This movie was repulsive. I think the craft was wonderful, but the movie itself, negative 100 ukuleles.
Siete que mal. I give it 0.
It's over!